Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much. Your support means the world to me. For those of you that want to subscribe to the channel and support it in that way, you can go to patreon.com and look up Engelgeist, choose a subscription level, and support the channel that way. There are special readings, and the daily forecast goes up a day early over there, so you guys get to see these things a little bit with a, you know, 24 hours notice or whatever, depending on when I upload it, but I usually am pretty good. So, this is the daily forecast for the greater collective. This is a shared reading amongst all of you. Use it however you see fit. If you choose to make any decisions in your personal life, those decisions would be, in regards to this reading, those decisions would be your own personal responsibility, keeping that in mind. If anything doesn't make sense, don't worry, it doesn't mean anything's wrong. You just might be working on something different at this time. But generally, as a rule, these are broad spectrum readings, so they're hopefully able to give you, insight, validation, support, for whatever you may already be feeling, knowing, thinking about, that sort of a thing. It also can kind of key you into things that you maybe weren't aware of that you can focus on to help you through your day or to maybe better your situation, that sort of a thing. So let's see what's going on. This is also, I should say, I say this in every video, so those of you that watch me regularly, sorry I sound like a broken record, but I do this mainly for those that are new. This is a timeless reading, so because it's the message for the greater collective for the highest good, I believe that Spirit gets the message to you when you need it. So if you're seeing this on a date that it wasn't originally intended for, that's okay. Still watch the video. You might actually gain something out of it, or it might be of some sort of use to you or benefit. This is now for Saturday the 7th, the end of the week. We are in that judgment energy. We had a lot of major arcana this week. And of course, Mercury came out of retrograde. There's just been a lot of stuff going on, both, in the world politically, and there's just a lot of changes happening. And I think that's sort of the signifier of all of those major arcana cards at the beginning of the week. We'll see how we're going to end out, but that judgment energy is underneath this underpinning, right? And I was thinking too that grounding stone that we have is that passion. And if you look at sort of, I'm just using this on a broader scale, but if you sort of look at what's going on in the world right now, there's a lot of people on whatever side that they're on, and I'm not saying any side is right or wrong. What I'm saying is that on whatever side that they're on, they're very impassioned about how they feel. Whether it's political or it's, COVID related or it's, stay-at-home orders, whatever we're dealing with, right? We feel that sort of impassioned response. And I think that's also some of the message of that passion stone is like, there's a way to be impassioned about something also negatively. And we need to be aware of that. When we get so caught up in our ideals or our beliefs that we can't see another's perspective, we actually kind of harm ourselves in the process. And I just want to kind of touch base on that before I get too far into the reading, because I think that we're supposed to seek our own passions, right? And what we feel strongly about, but we don't ever want to do that at the expense of others in a way. It's kind of my feeling. I'm not saying we give up our passions for others, but we also don't want to inflict them upon others, right? And so there's this fine line of where we stand on that. And I think that that might also be some of the message from Spirit is as things start to shift and change with this judgment energy that's happening and this transformation energy that Scorpio is bringing about, we need to look at that. And how are we wielding those passions? Like where we feel strongly about things. Are we railing against people with it? Or are we, hopefully standing strong in it and then still offering support to those that may differ from us? I don't know. It's just sort of a message that I thought might be nice to think about. So, the card today is the Nine of Wands. Wands is the element of fire in the spirit. That would definitely be passion too. The Nine of Wands usually signifies sort of like this, coming to a personal closure with something that maybe we've been carrying for a while, that we've been sort of, that's more the 10 of Wands is kind of being finished with it, but to me I feel like the 9 is like kind of getting to our end with that. When I look at this wet cat, he's not very happy. I love all the emotions of the water. And remember, did we have water? Water was this week, guys. And that's right. Water was our oracle card for the week. And there's all of this water, and cats and water don't necessarily always mix, right? There's sometimes the odd, strange cat that loves a bath, but for the most part, cats don't get water. They don't really like water. They're not super comfortable in water. And so, if some of us have been in our passions or in our emotions a lot this week, I hope that, like I said at the beginning of the week, we've been letting them flow and moving through situations versus getting caught up in them. To me, this Nine of Wands, because we have these like wands all pointed directly at the cat, it kind of feels like he might be a little bit pressed right now. We might feel a little bit pressed on this day, wherever our emotions are at. They might feel like they're straining on us a little bit. But I feel like the flowers that we see in the border down below here and the mountains in the background feel like and the clouds too, we're getting out of this sort of struggle. Or ideally, we're working our way out of this struggle energy if we find ourselves in any. And we're getting to this place of new growth, new beauty, new experiences beyond sort of the struggle of the cloudiness and the mountains, right? I don't want to make this a political reading, right? But I do see sort of the corroboration of where these cards are talking about and what's going on the global scale in this country. And so I have to say that, right? I'm not saying either side is right or wrong. I have my own personal beliefs around that, and everybody else has theirs, and we're all very passionate about those beliefs. But some of us might feel like this wet cat, like we've been maybe dealing with a lot, facing a lot, challenged by a lot. And it challenges us to our core with this being a Wands card, right? But I don't want you guys to give up that hope or that faith. That's the thing that I want. I kind of feel like when I look back, I have all of the grounding stones for this week lined up here. There's a lot of really beautiful grounding stones. We have generosity, prosperity, laugh, joy. These are things that we don't want to lose sight of as we move into this next week. And I feel like this Nine of Wands might be a warning to us to kind of remind us that, like, okay, guys, yes, it's been a tumultuous week for all of us, right? It's been a tumultuous fucking year. Excuse my language. I don't like to swear, but, well, I do love to swear like a trucker, but I don't like to swear on these videos. But let's be honest. It's been a tumultuous year for everyone. And really, I think, like, when we evolve or when we sort of grow from these experiences is when we're, like, are most supportive to those that we don't necessarily fully understand, right? And I think that that's kind of, I mean, I don't want to get too preachy or soapboxy, but I feel like that's what we need right now, is to feel heard and to also hear out others, to bridge gaps, not expand them. And I feel like there's a lot of gaps being expanded, in the last, I mean, it's been going on for, I want to say like the last 10 years. And it's like we need to start to pay attention, because I feel like it's becoming detrimental not only to, our country, but also to each and every one of us, because we're being expanded in ways that we've never faced before, like things like COVID and all of the adjustments that have to be made around managing and facing the situations that we're in. And I think also, we're holding together quite well. That's sort of this frazzled cat to me, and he feels like he's a little stressed. He's a little, if we really looked at where we're at and the effect that this has on our psyches, each and every one of us, it's a toll. So I think that first and foremost, the message I think here is maybe supporting ourselves, taking care of ourselves during this time, acknowledging our emotions and the the feelings that come up from our spirit, right? That's the wands of this card. But also, acknowledging that we can sort of come to terms, free ourselves, focus on what's to come. That's the flowers in the bottom border there, and flow like that water, allowing ourselves to kind of release anything that isn't necessarily bringing us clarity or peace at this time, okay? And there's this, I'm going to say this transformation or this judgment card is still underneath this today. So there's maybe some stuff. Judgment can be like a hard truth that comes out. And so there's, that's still maybe coming for some of us, or I don't know. I'm just saying, be forewarned, take good care of yourself as you go through this day. So let's, interesting. So let's look at the card. It's 49, which would be 9 and 4 is 13, which would be a 4, right? So non-duality. When I look at this, there's black, there's white, and then in the middle is gray. I don't know why this is coming out. Oh God, I see politics in this, and maybe that's been, watching too much politics, but I do sort of see like this is on the order, right? This is affecting all of us right now. And when I look at, and it's not just us in America, like the entire world is watching our response right now. And how we respond is going to affect the entire world. And so when I look at this black and white, and then we have this sort of gray in the middle, right? There's always this sort of idea, and it's interesting, we have the red and the blue dots, like Democrat and Republican. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, granted, we have the one yellow dot there, but like red and blue, red and blue. Okay, there is a balance, and I think that each one of us, what this card is saying to me, 4s are about balance, bringing things into balance, right? So that's the energy of this non-duality. And we begin to look at things in less right and wrong terms, or black and white, and we start to look to the gray areas. I think we are going to find that there's, and I hope people hear this message and don't take it too personally, but there is gray areas between all of us, no matter where we stand, no matter what we believe, no matter what we think is right. And we need to understand that we all come from sort of the same source, right? That source of spirit. We're all interconnected, and we all sort of owe each other, like, I don't know, like an ounce of respect and honor. And, instead of, I look at social media and I look at like people railing against each other or really rubbing it in or really, I don't know. I just think that if we took more of a compassionate sort of look at things, we'd understand that similar to this cat that seems like he's kind of a little stressed out and struggling, maybe somebody else is also just as stressed out and struggling on the other side. And I think that in the gray is where our answer lies, right? It's not always black, it's not always white, and that works for both sides. And I'm the first one to admit that I can get caught in that and get like righteous and upset and sort of like, no, this is how it is. I can't believe that you see it this way. And the truth of the matter is you have to hear out the other side. And I mean, this can be applied to any situation. It doesn't necessarily have to be any sort of situation you may be struggling with, right? If you're struggling with say a loved one or a family member, and you don't understand why they're treating you the way that they're treating you, or, I'm not saying to make excuses for their behavior or allow yourself to be treated poorly, but there is something to be said for what lies in between, right? We have to remember we're looking at things through our own sort of filter of a self-centric kind of viewpoint or idea. And I think that we need to maybe sort of come together in that light and dark, good and bad. We all have it within us. All right, let's look to the grounding stone. Sorry, this is maybe running a little long in episode. So it's the desire. The stone is on marble and it's desire. What I think about when I look at this desire is it's very close to passion, right? What do we desire? What do we want? What are our main goals? And this is the thing that I think is interesting about this whole, and I hate to be on this political bend, but it is really huge right now. It is affecting us all, and it will affect us all for the years to come. It has always affected us all, right? And we get very impassioned about it, and we get very upset over it, and we get very frustrated by it. And it creates this sort of 9 of Wands anxiety and craziness and, emotional tumult, right? But this desire to me is like, what do we want, right? We all ultimately as human beings want our freedom. We want to feel safe. We want to feel like, valued, regardless of what side we're on, what president we choose. And I think if we talked more from that place of desire and want, right, and goals, we'd understand that we're more alike than we are fucking different. And all this other stuff about it being about a candidate or a person or a mask is really just stupidity, to be honest. In my mind, right? Like, I feel like I I've been approaching it because I live in a very Republican state. I've been approaching it, and I'm not a Republican by any means. I mean, I don't disagree completely with them, but I don't also sign on to everything that they do, nor do I completely sign on to everything that the Democrats do. But I find myself being more on the liberal side than anything. And I don't understand how anybody can be sort of spiritual and not be on the liberal side. But there's a lot of people that are doing that at this time. It's not mine to judge, right? I need to look at where are we similar, not where are we different. Where's that gray area? Where do we meet in the middle? And then work from that point out to better understand them and to better assist them. And that's really how we evolve, right? Not only do they grow because we're assisting them and hopefully they're assisting us in return, but we grow, right? In a way, like we grow and we end up understanding a little bit better about just maybe human nature, others, and then through that understanding, we understand more about ourselves. All right, so let me read these definitions for you guys. Sorry if this was too preachy, I don't mean to be, but I just kind of feel like that's what I'm feeling. I think that these cats are talking about kind of, you know, how we behave at this time is important, and what we focus on is important, and how we share that focus is important. Are we using that focus and that passion to, you know, force others to our will? Or are we, you know, ultimately getting our desires or not getting our desires? Are we able, as we receive what we think is our, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like as we're receiving whatever it is, like whoever wins, you know, is that side that's winning? Are we going to now reach out a hand and sort of help the other side that has just lost? I think that's what we would want to do. I don't know that that's what people will do, but, you know, we want to sort of support them and we all want to be a whole country again. So everybody needs to be included in this, not excluded. All right, anyways, that's just... So, Nine of Wands, the cat is named Thibault, Tibault. The symbolism is the mountain's a past obstacle you accomplished, which I believe that's true. The water is calming the waters, feelings of uncertainty. The poppies is inner strength. And the daffodils are new beginnings, emerging strength, and perseverance. The message, the goal is so close, you can see the end, it is in your view. And because of this, your passion, and there's that word again, and perseverance may be especially strong. Perhaps you, like the cat of the Nine of Wands, have made it across a problematic situation, one that may have left you feeling hung out to dry from time to time. Although there may have been setbacks that caused you to pause or contemplate your next move more carefully, you are well on your way to reaching a successful conclusion. And that's the closing of this chapter, personally, for each of us. We need to change how we interact with one another. That's definitely the message today. Events from the past that may have left you feeling less than confident will always rise and shake your resolve, whether it be this challenge or the next. The Nine of Wands is a reminder that with every journey there will be obstacles. There will be times when the waters are rough as well as smooth. Allow yourself time to rest, but stay on course, as your momentum will keep the fire within burning. And again, the fire within burning is not also passion, also this desire. But I also think when we ground in our desire and we talk about what it is we want, and we're clear about what it is we want, and we don't need anybody else to sort of conform to that to get it, we can actually realize that our desires are more similar to our neighbors than we realize. Energy attributes, positive, staying strong, allowing time to heal and rest before tackling the next task, staying motivated during the down times. The negative is creating reason to push ahead, feeling paranoid, not able to rest in order to clear your mind, pushing forward without a plan. Let's read, is this 49? Yes, non-duality. And that's the whole thing. Duality is about this idea of, you know, things being apart or separate, and non-duality to me is they're not, you know? All right. Non-duality. That which I believe becomes my reality. As we each walk our path in life, we experience things that are perceived as good or bad. As empaths, the universe strives to teach us that there is a different choice. The other choice is called non-duality. Through judgments and labels, thoughts and emotions are projected out into the world as energy. It is not hard to see that the projected experience of most, because of duality, is one of fear and lack. Seeing is one thing, but feeling this constant barrage of energetic judgment, labeling, fear, and lack becomes very taxing to empaths. It is, and I think this is not, I'm just going to say this before I read on, This is not just with empaths, guys. Everybody has the ability to feel energy. We all work off of it, whether we honor it and acknowledge it as what it is or not. When we get a read on a person, when we walk into a party and we're like, ooh, I want to meet that person, or I feel like I know them, or ooh, I don't want to stand anywhere near that person, that's us empathically feeling the energy, guys. We all do it. So the more that you own that, we all deal with this sort of feeling the judgment of others on us. That's where we get into fights with our family or whoever, before we even realize we're in a fight. You know what I'm saying? We can already feel it coming. That's your intuition. That's your empathic nature. It's in you. All right, so, sorry, I'm a real preachy this morning. Seeing is one thing, but feeling this constant barrage of energetic judgment, labeling, fear, and lack becomes very taxing to empaths. It is a lower vibration. Henceforth, it is the heaviness that often becomes your daily experience in this world. When you give into the same process of duality, you add your own energies to this experience, and because of your power, you can become your own worst enemy. Energy follows intention, and what you intend becomes your reality. The practice of positive thought and affirmations can be helpful, but isn't even that a duality? The very first moment of drama or upheaval can uproot all the positivity, leaving you to wonder why. When you realize that sometimes bad things happen to lead to greater learnings, that adversity can build emotional strength, and all experiences can lead to energetic wisdom, the path becomes one of energetic ascension. No longer do labels of good, bad, light, dark, spiritual, evil, abundance, lack, love, hate, sadness, and anger control the moment. When you release the labels and strive continuously to experience the vibration that is present in the teaching of the moment, you soon realize that in releasing, heaviness is replaced with that which is full of light. In this absence of intention, this energy is free to be used on your journey forward. Is how I have labeled my life to become my reality. Am I happy with that reality? How am I labeling this situation? What emotion do these labels elicit? Where are these emotions getting stuck? So I think also too, when we talk about these labels and creating a reality, like focusing on our desire allows us to open up that reality, to get excited again, to feel light again, to sort of step away from the frazzled nature of this 9 of Wands cat. And it's not a bad thing, it's just like we've come a long way. It's been a rough year, guys, for everybody. And I think that we need to acknowledge that. And we need to sort of mellow the fuck out. Excuse my language. All right, that is your forecast for the day. Sorry I ran long, and if I was too preachy, write me a letter about it or send me a comment and tell me if it was too much. That is your forecast, though. Thank you so much for joining. I look forward to seeing how the next week's going to play out. We'll tune in tomorrow for that. Please hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed the forecast. Please hit the thumbs up button. You can leave me a question or a comment either here or at the business page on Facebook. And I really hope that you guys have a great day. Be kind to yourself and others, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.